Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics. How you doing? Welcome to the Fantasy MD's Baseball Podcast. Today is Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. It's our 32nd episode. I'm your host, Dominic Martino, here with my brother, my co-host, Matthew Ane. Matt, how are we doing today, brother?
Doing good, man. Nobody's home. Got no family here. We chilling.
Ah, there you go. Very nice. Very nice. I saw your team in our big money league did pretty well yesterday, especially those bats.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bobby Witt, huh? Waking up a little bit there.
Yeah, double dong from him. I had a double dong from like two other people. I had a good day.
There we go, my brother. See, you know what, guys? These bats are starting to wake up, man, and I feel like a lot of people that have been struggling are doing well. So for today, we're gonna head right into the finger on the pulse, and we got a bunch of guys that maybe a little bit older, but are finally, like not that they haven't ever been good, but like they're really having like these big years here, right? Well, let's start with somebody that's been super impressive to me, man. And we haven't really talked about him on the podcast. One of my favorite players, and that's Tony Gonslin, man. This guy has just been having a monster year, and it doesn't look like he's been has any signs of slowing up. He's got 9 wins on the year. He's got a 1.58 ERA. He's got a 0.82 WHIP, 68 innings, 64 Ks, and man, he's just finally putting all those things together that we've seen. He hasn't really thrown that many innings in his career. I'm going to give you that exact number, right? So far in his career, he's only thrown 210 innings, right? But they've been really good innings. He's got a 2.44 ERA in his career, 200 and like I said, 210 innings, 212 Ks. That's a clean one WHIP. Man, he's just a very good pitcher at 28 years old. It looks like Tony Gonsolin is really showing us, what he's about. I'm very impressed with him, and I mean, I don't think he's going to keep the ERA under 2 all year, right? But I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in the leagues right now, and I'm ranking him inside probably my top 25 going into next year if he keeps it up.
Yeah, I mean it's not surprising because of his talent, but it is surprising based off of his track history. It's one of those things where he always had nice little like spot starts for us, and like he was always a guy who can pick up, drop, and whatnot. But this year, man, he's pulling it together. I'm pretty impressed. I'm happy for the guy. Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
let's move on. Somebody that's kind of bounced back and had a real rocky start, and that's Marcus Simeon with the Texas Rangers. He was one of those people that had the case of I'm on a new team, and really wasn't performing. But the last month has just been absolutely ridiculous for him. He has 22 runs, 7 bombs, 18 ribbies, 9 stolen bases in the last month, and batting 300. So that's something that's real nice to see, because I mean before that he was just ice cold. It was actually putrid, and to the point where what his total numbers, right? All his production has come over the last month, because all the differences is 22 runs in the last month versus the whole season of 264 at bats, 35. 7 home runs for the whole season. That's in the last month. 27 ribbies when he had 18 in the last month, and 12 stolen bases for the whole season. He had 9 in the last month. And on top of that, he's batting 231 on the year after hitting 300 for the whole month. So, I mean, I think he finally like figured it out. Maybe he found a good barbecue place or something, and that kind of fixed it. I don't know. But, good for him, because, it was really depressing to see, because we had him ranked pretty high. I think he was like
Yeah,
your
very
4, my
high,
5 shortstop.
very
So,
high.
you know, I'm really glad to see that bounce back season. Congratulations. Welcome back, Marcus Simeon.
Yeah, if anyone went out there and bought low on Marcus Simeon, you're totally reaping the rewards of it now. I actually wanted to point out on May 1st, Marcus Simeon was batting 149, right? So from May 1st to now, he's got that batting average all the way up to 231. So he's been very hot. He's seeing the ball better. He's maybe like Matt said, getting used to where he's at now, getting used to the ballpark, just like getting that routine down. I'm very high on Marcus Simeon going forward. I think he's going to finish the year strong. Great power, speed combo, and man, what didn't he hit like 40 home runs last year? What's that number? Let's see if we could.
I got you.
Yeah, right. What did he hit? 45 home runs last year with
Yep.
102 RBIs, right? So I mean, he's not going to finish with those numbers, but you know what, man? If he gets you 30 plus with that speed, maybe 10 plus steals, right? Oh, he's already got 12, right? So he's going to probably get you at least, like I said, maybe another 10 there.
He's hot. He's gonna get. He
Yeah,
got 9
yeah.
last month. I mean,
Exactly, right. So hey, man, if he does 9 in a month, he could easily get you 10 more bags. So you're talking about like a 40-20 guy potentially, right? Or at least a 30-20 guy, right? Man, Marcus Simeon, like Matt said, shout out to him. He's been killing it lately. So let's move on, talk about another guy here. Let's switch back to the arms, right? Somebody that's just this is like a real breakout because I guess we haven't really seen it from him before, right? That's Nick Pavetta. So we've kind of talking about guys here that are a little bit older that are finally, really showing us, like what they could do, right? So, Nick Pavetta, 29, having a big breakout year with a 3.31 ERA across 14 starts, 81 innings, 82 strikeouts with a 109 whip. Man, that Boston Red Sox, they had him last year. He didn't really do too much. He really shined in the strikeout department. 155 innings for Nick Pavetta last year, 175 strikeouts. So maybe coming into this year, they saw something else that they could improve upon. And man, it really looks like he's figured things out, right? I mean, I'll say this: I don't think he's going to be like top 30 pitcher, but hey, man, if you got him as like your number 5, you're pretty, you're 5'6", you're pretty happy with that. So I mean, I'd say very proud of Nick Pavetta for what he's doing, and if you got him, man, just give yourself a little pat on the back there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny because Philly fans hate him right now because
Oh yeah.
couldn't do that here. And it's funny. I was pretty high on him when he was coming up, and he kind of really just like pooped the bed there. But I guess Chris Sale was sitting there with his little cast on, taking notes and saying, you need to do this, this, and this. So he turned that 4.53 ERA into a 2.30, 3.31. Congratulations. Welcome to the bounce back. Let's see if this lasts. But right now, he's one of those people I'm really happy about, but I'm also probably considering, since he's probably more like your 7th or 8th pitcher, because you probably got him off waiver wire. I don't know a single person that really drafted him unless you're in like a 15-man. So, you probably should sell high and see what you can get, because somebody will pay for that kind of production, in my opinion. But let's move on to our last guy. And
Mr. Dansby Swanson.
Thank you. That's Dansby Swanson. This just worked out where me and Dom just took arms and bats. But so Dansby, one of the older guys. I forget how old he is. I think he's close to 30.
He's getting there. I have 28.
Yeah, so he's always been like a 250 hitter, not really the bombs kind of guy. And even though he was on the Atlanta Braves, he never really had astronomical numbers because last year only had 78 runs and 88 ribbies. But this year, the guy's just taking off. He's batting 295. He's got 43 runs, 9 bombs, 37 ribbies, and 11 stolen bases on the year. Now, that's incredible. See, the funny part is, if you remember last year, he started off the season hot and then kind of, teetered off. I think he may be continuing to follow that trend since he's now the veteran on that team. And, it's no longer Freddie's team. So maybe he's stepping up in that leadership capacity. It looks really good. He's another one I'd probably sell high on because he's probably not your first bet of shortstop. And you'll probably get something real nice for him.
Well, I'll tell you this. I have Dansby in a couple of leagues, and I'm not really actively looking to sell him. I mean, if somebody came to me and gave me a good offer, I'm definitely not going to say no, because as Matt said, he's kind of streaky. I had his splits up from last year, right? So now he had a horrible April, March. He hit 190, and then May he showed up, hit 290. 100 points better on the batting average. Hit 6 bombs that month last year. Last year in May for Dansby Swanson, and then he slowed down in June, hit 216. July he came back up, hit 290 again. Then he hit 320 in August, and then he hit 176 in September/October, right? So he's kind of been inconsistent in his career. I mean, he was the number 1 overall pick in 2015 by the Arizona Diamondbacks, right? And I mean, he's always had a lot of potential, a lot of upside. So at 28 years old, as Matt read off his stats, he's really kind of showing us what everyone expected from him. But the whole thing is can he keep it riding through, through the summer and then into, September and really like, have this big season like, people have been expecting. He had 27 bombs last year. So, the power could, keep shining through. 9 steals last year. He's already got 11 this year. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily, as I said, going out there and shopping him, but you know what? If somebody does give you a good offer for him, definitely take it because you don't know if he's going to be able to keep this up consistently because last year he was very hot and cold. But you know what? I know there was a couple months, as I read off, where he was like, that guy. So we're gonna end the finger on the pulse there with that, and head into the news and notes. Matt, already. Cut me off if you need to. So we're gonna start off. Finally, Fernando Tatis was cleared to do dry swings, not full swings. So that's a little step in the right direction.
What about wet swings?
I don't know. You're gonna have to ask them about that one. But
right.
They're saying that he could be back in mid-July. So just keep an eye there on Tatis. Max Scherzer, working his way back from that oblique. He made a minor league start yesterday. They're saying that he could be an option for the Mets this Sunday. Another New York Met, Jeff McNeil. He's actually day-to-day with a hammy issue. Keep an eye on him. Joe Musgrove, they're saying he's going to pitch this Thursday. He was on the COVID IL, so just make sure you have him active in your daily leagues. Paul Goldschmidt, he's day-to-day with lower back tightness. Keep an eye on that one. I know there's a lot of guys dealing with that back tightness at this time of the year from all this swinging, so just keep an eye on him.
Yeah, that might hold him out a little bit, unfortunately, because you know what? It's soft tissue. It may linger. He is in the older echelon of age. So, it's one of those things you don't want to hear for an older player, especially one that's been killing it for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at Chris Bryant. He's missed, the whole season with back problems. So, just keep an eye on Goldie there, right? Make sure you have a backup ready to, pop in. We got George Springer. He's going to go undergo some testing on his right elbow today after feeling some discomfort there in the last few days. He's been super injury prone in his career, guys. So, once again, make sure you have a replacement ready for George Springer in case he hits the IL.
Week.
Yeah. Oh, definitely super weak phalanges for Springer, right? Then we got Jeremy Pena. He took some swings yesterday. He's recovering from that thumb injury. The Astros are saying he could be an option again for them towards the end of the month, maybe beginning of July, depending on, how he feels. Now, New York Yankee, one of our boys, Aldous Chapman, he's working his way back from the Achilles. He's set to start a minor league rehab assignment this weekend. But I did see some news on him. I believe he came out and himself and said that at this point in his career, he doesn't feel like he's competing for that closer job anymore. So once again, that's him. That's what Chapman said. Boone didn't come out and say that. No one from the Yankees came out and said that. That was Aldous Chapman himself. So it looks like he's kind of relinquishing that job to Clay Holmes. So if you do have Aldous Chapman, I necessarily wouldn't be counting on him for saves going forward. Not saying that he's not going to, but if you come out yourself and you say, hey, I'm not fighting for that closer's role anymore, I mean, I wouldn't be relying on him for saves going forward. I'd be looking in other directions. Then we got last one here, Jacob Degrom. He actually faced live hitters for the first time yesterday. Very good sign for him. They're saying he could be back by mid-July. So just keep an eye on that with Jacob Degrom, right? So that's going to wrap up the news and notes here. Oh, actually, wait, I did have one more that I saw. I'm just going to throw it on here real quick. Carlos Carrasco was removed from the game today. They didn't say what was wrong with him exactly, but they did take him out of the game early today. And that's somebody that we did mention, hey, you try and trade him while you can because, he was a waiver wire pickup this year. So if you went out and listened to us, you traded him, you're looking pretty smart right now, right? All right, so let's move right into the waiver wire segment. Per usual, I would like to start with Matt, one of my favorite players in the league. He's just coming off the IL, and that's Franmil Reyes, right? Man, he's been, he's Matt, as Matt would say, his phalanges aren't the best over the last couple of years, right? But we all know the upside that Franmil Reyes has. He's a 35, 40 home run guy. And, he has shown flashes of batting average over the year. I necessarily wouldn't count on it. He's a career 254 hitter, so I would probably expect around there with a lot of power and RBIs in that Cleveland lineup. As I said, he's just coming back from the IL. So let's just pull up. He's probably dropped in a few leagues, 56% owned on Yahoo. I know his numbers don't look great this year, but man, if you're really hurting for power, he's definitely an ad, in my opinion.
Yeah, Framy's good. Framy's like the Buxton of the Guardians.
Yeah.
They sign each other's casts in the hospital. But when he is healthy, he can play, and he is very good. He will hit you a boatload of bombs, and I mean, not for nothing. It's not like he's tanking you in batting average either. So he's definitely worth an ad. Let's just hope the phalanges can stay good and not inflame this time. But let's move on to the next guy. That's another Cleveland Indian, and that's Josh Naylor.
Heating back up.
Yeah, he's getting hot again. It's nice. 36% owned. Over the last 2 weeks, he had 6 runs, 2 bombs, 9 ribbies, a stolen base, batting .317. So, that's something nice. He's not killing you on the batting average again. He's one of those
helping
guys.
you on the batting average.
Amen to that. And he's getting you some counting stats too. So, my rule of thumb, good batting average on the way off the waiver wire is something that's valuable, especially when you need to sub people coming up with off days.
Yes, sir. I mean, we all know the injury bug has been just headed all over the place this year, hurting everybody's team up, right? So, you get yourself a guy like Josh Naylor, he's out there playing every day, contributing on that Cleveland team, hitting 283 on the year with 8 bombs, 37 RBIs, chipped in a steal. He's not really a steals guy, so I wouldn't expect 2 more of those. Got you 21 runs across 44 games. That's, again, Josh Naylor, 25 years old, Cleveland Guardians. He's been hitting fourth and fifth like almost every day recently. So I would definitely go out there and snag him. As Matt said, 36% owned on Yahoo, criminally under owned at the moment. Is eligible at first base and outfield on Yahoo as well, Josh Naylor. So, man, guys, go out there and get him. I would say he needs to get up to at least 50% owned, in my opinion, right? So let's see who we got next here. Let's talk about let's throw out another catcher, man. I feel like we've been really doing well on the catchers this year, right? Jorge Alfaro, right? Somebody that you might have heard the name before from playing fantasy a while. He was a higher end prospect, right? Never really, panned out. A bunch of, injuries. The phalanges are no good on him too. But hey, this year he's looking pretty good so far. He's hitting 285. He's got you 5 bombs. He's got you 17 runs, 17 RBIs, and a steal. So I mean, he's chipping in across the board. If you're hurting at catcher right now, I know catcher's been a tough position for everybody this year. So I mean, you could go out there and add Josh Naylor. He's 29. I mean, not Josh Naylor. We're just talking about him. Jorge Alfaro, right? So that's Jorge Alfaro, catcher, San Diego Padres, right? So you go out there and snag him if you need him. He's only played 37 games this year, but he's hitting right now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's also on the Padres, so you can't take that. If he gets up and he's got a couple guys in front of him, which is probably going to happen with that team, he's definitely worth it. And I mean, he might get a little extra playing time since it looks like they're throwing him in the outfield as well. So, there's a route to be successful, especially with catchers just haven't been so great this year. Outside of like the top 5 this year, it's really just been nothing special, and it's just like whatever. So screw it, ride the wave. But let's move on to our last bat here.
Real quick, he's only 11% owned on Yahoo. I don't think I threw that out there. Just wanted to throw out the ownership percentage. Only 11% owned for Jorge Alfaro, so go out there and snag him.
I remember that. And then you got our last guy here, Ahmed Rosario, another Cleveland Indian.
You killed that. That was beautiful.
I'm good with the Spanish pronunciation. Ask me to do anything else, and we're over. I'm lucky I can do mine. But it's funny. I guess we're Indian fans today, but
yeah, I guess so, huh?
Yeah, he's been killing it though. So like over the last 2 weeks, he had 10 runs, 1 bomb, 4 ribbies, 2 stolen bases, but batting .319. So again, it fits my philosophy of good batting average off the subs. The runs are real nice. And now Franmil's back too to drive him in some more. So this is going to be a really nice ad for you, at least for the short term.
Yeah. You know what? I fully agree with you. You know what's so funny, Matt, that you were talking about that where Cleveland fans, but they've been great recently. That's what they're in first place again in the AL Central. The last 10 games, they're 8-2 Cleveland, right? So it really looks like Cleveland's figuring some things out here. And it wasn't even. I didn't even like, I was making the show notes. It wasn't even on purpose. I was just like, all right, who's going to help the fans, in their fantasy leagues, win week to week. That's what we're doing here. We're just trying to help everyone else with their fantasy leagues, win, right? And Cleveland's winning right now. So you go up, you pick out these Cleveland Guardians. When they start losing again, you can feel free to, drop them if you want. But once again, for Ahmed Rosario specifically, right? He was another guy high end prospect, came up with the Mets and, never really panned out. He had a pretty good 2019, but then he fell off again in 2020. But ever since he's gone over to Cleveland the last 2 years, man, he's looking really good. Let's give you a little combined what Ahmed Rosario's done since he's gone to Cleveland. If Baseball Reference wants to work with me, otherwise, looks like I'm just going to give you what Ahmed's doing this year, right?
Hey,
So far, what Ahmed Rosario's doing this year, he's hitting 264. He's got 7 steals. He's got 16 RBIs, 1 home run, 32 runs across 57 games. He's only 26 years old, and he's also only 53% owned on Yahoo. Ahmed Rosario is shortstop and outfield eligible on Yahoo as well. So you know what? If you need yourself a little shortstop help, you go out there and you snag him. He's very, very quick. He's going to get you a lot of steals. So once again, Ahmed Rosario, go out there and pick him up. So let's head into, the pitchers here. I will say this, guys, it's getting tougher and tougher every week to, come up with some good names as far as starting pitching goes. So with most of these guys here, it's more likely a stream than a hold with them, right? So let's jump right into it. Let's start off with Matt. Let's just go with another Cleveland Guardian, right? Because
Oh,
that's
we're
the
gonna jump
vibe,
right
right?
in.
Let's jump right into it. Guy coming right off the IL, one of guy Matt and I like over the years. He's not doing good this year so far, but that's Aaron Savale, right? In his last outing though, I believe was when he came off the IL. It was on June 21st. He went 5 innings. He got 7 strikeouts, a 3.60 ERA, and a 1.20 WHIP against the Minnesota Twins. Now those numbers aren't blowing you away, but it's a decent start coming off the IL, right? He does get Boston on the 26th, so I mean, you might want to be a little bit careful there. But you know what? You could, if you're really hurting right now at starting pitching, and you just need somebody that might be good eventually. Aaron Savale, man, he's had some pretty good years in his career. I'm a fan. And what's he owned? Only 22% owned on Yahoo, so you can almost go out there and get him in every league right
Yeah, I mean, Savali honestly has been one of my favorites. I actually had him ranked, I believe, in my top 60 going into the year.
now. Yeah, I had him up there too.
So, I mean, last year he had a 3.84 ERA, which I mean isn't wonderful, but isn't terrible either.
Serviceable.
Yeah, exactly. So I honestly thought he was going to take the step forward because he, at the second half of the season, he kind of really had like a moment of genius, and really just was like. But long story short, this year he kind of fell off, and it just hasn't been wonderful. But he is somebody that has the long-term upside for you, and it also helps that he's pitching against
Yeah, I
probably
think I said he's got Boston
Boston.
this
Yeah,
week. Yeah, he's got Boston this week. So
that
like I
doesn't
said,
help.
yeah, like I said, you might pick him up and just throw him on the bench for now and see where
Yeah,
things goes, because it's more of like a wait and see with him to see if he does figure it out. Like we
right.
said, it's getting tough with pitchers, so you might in deeper leagues he's an ad. If it's shallow leagues, I'm not really going out of my way to add him. As Matt said, he had a 3.84 ERA last year, 124 innings, 99 strikeouts. Not a big strikeout guy, but a 1.18 WHIP. So you know what? When he's on his when doing his normal Aaron Savale stuff, he's got good control. He'll suppress runs. He won't be striking everybody out, but he's got some upside.
Yeah, I genuinely like them. I used to comp them to Dylan Cease, but now they kind of have separated quite a bit.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next guy. I'm done talking about the Indians, and we're gonna move and talk about Chicago White Sox here, and that's Johnny Cueto. Old man's father time. Guy still kind of got it here and there. He hasn't had such a great year, but the reason why we tell you is, it's all about the current, about manufacturing some wins, and
Yeah.
he's going up against Boston tomorrow. So if you can get him in, I would. It's going to be a good matchup for him. It's at home, so
He's got Baltimore, right?
right, yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, Orioles.
Yeah, and it's at home, so it's not in Baltimore, which is another bonus. So I would say go for it. His last start was against Houston of all teams, and he was able to get the win, 5 Ks, and gave up no runs and only a .57 WHIP. So you know what? That's a new stat, by the way, I created. But anyway, great whip for that game, especially against a team of that caliber. It makes me feel confident for him to go out against Baltimore and kind of do some dirty and make me get me a win.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been watching baseball at all, you know who Johnny Cueto is. He's been around a long time. He hasn't been reliable over the last few years, but he's had a great career. He's longevity. I mean, 36 years old, and he's been doing it since he's 22, right? So I mean, he knows how to pitch. I'll tell you this. I don't know if he's a long-term solution, only 21% owned on Yahoo, but if you need him for this week, maybe next week, go out there and add him. But he's been good this year too. It's not like, he hasn't been good this year. He's got a 2.95 ERA. He's got a 1.10 whip, 42 innings, 33 strikeouts for Johnny Cueto. Maybe the White Sox found something. Every time, I see a pitcher that is doing something they haven't done over the last few years and they've gone to a new team, maybe the team helped them figure something out. And that's what it looks like here for Cueto. He's also a very deceptive pitcher. If you watch him pitch, he knows how to throw batters off. So once again, he's got Baltimore tomorrow. So you go out there and you snag him, you throw him in the lineup, maybe he gets you a win, and then you keep riding the wave until he falls off, right? So let's see, who do we got up next here? Let's go with somebody that I've been adding and dropping the whole year, man, because I do love his talent, but you don't know when he's really coming back. That's Dustin May. So now this one's more of a stash, right? So if you want somebody that's actually that I know that I can pretty much guarantee you is gonna be good when they're out there, that's Dustin May, man. The kid's been absolutely electric anytime that he's taken a mound in his life. That's again, he's on a great team. He's on the Los Angeles Dodgers. So if you got that IL spot right now, you go out there and you snag Dustin May and you put him on there. I've seen August as a projection from Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers. So now in Dustin May's young career, he's got a 2.93 ERA across 19 starts, 113 innings, 111 strikeouts, and a 106 whip. So as I said, he's been good his whole career. His minor league track record is outstanding as well. He's 23 years old. He's got all the talent in the world. And let's see, where does he owned on Yahoo right now? Only 21% owned on Yahoo. So if you got the room on your IL, pick him up, stash him on the IL. He should be back around August, helping out all fantasy teams and the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, he's definitely worth it. Let's see what they do. I mean, as of right now, he's just going to sit on the IL. If you're not, destroyed by the injury bug like I am,
Yeah,
you can afford to carry him. I would. If you have to release him, you have to release him. But at least you keep him out of somebody else's hands at the same time. So it could definitely be a nice little spark coming into the end of the season, going into the playoffs.
yes,
And he
sir.
could help you out get that championship. You heard it here first. Let's get our last guy in here for alms, and that would be Josiah Gray. Nailed another one.
You did. That was perfect.
So he's actually low-key having a really good season, especially the last month. He's 50% owned. I think we should get that up over 60. He should be a must-add. Yeah. He's actually probably my number one waiver wire pickup out of everybody right now, if he's available in those leagues. So the last month alone, he has 2 dubs, 27 Ks, a 3.24 ERA with a 1.24 WHIP, which is a little high, but whatever. But out of 25 innings, so he's doing at least a K per 9. He's handling business for you. He's getting you some Ws. But, hey, he's going out there and getting the job done and not murdering you. Definitely pick him up if he's available. It'd be silly not to, because I know for a fact everybody's pitching is hurting. Everybody is struggling, and pitchers are getting lit up right now. So somebody that's producing well for you, that's producing on the waiver wire, you got to scoop him up.
Yeah, Josiah Gray was a high-end prospect coming up, and I believe the Dodgers drafted him, right? Let me just make sure. No, actually, he was drafted by the Reds, but Yeah, he was okay. Yeah, he was drafted by the Reds, and then he went to the Dodgers. So he was making waves with the Dodgers, and then they wound up trading him over to Washington. I believe it was in that the Trey Turner trade, right? So he's got the 3.95 ERA on the year, 13 starts, 68 innings, 73 strikeouts. You like to see that. A 1.25 WHIP. But as Matt read off, his last 4 starts have been absolutely electric over the last month. He's suppressing runs. He's striking guys out. He has Texas on the 25th. Now, Texas is heating up a little bit, as we told you. Simeon and Adolis Garcia and, Corey Seager, those guys are starting to look a little bit better. So, you know what? I'll say this is the test, right? So those last 4 starts have come against, mainly soft opponents like Cincinnati, Miami, Colorado, not at Coors, by the way. So, that start, let's see what he does against the good team. Last time was the Phillies. They're pretty good. 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, no runs, 0.67 WHIP. And then you got Texas, and he's got Texas this week on the 25th. I definitely say you go out there and you add him, right? Once again, Josiah Gray, Washington Nationals. So we're going to wrap things up here with a couple closures for you guys. Now, first one here is we're going to talk about Ken Giles, Seattle Mariners. He's just coming off the IL. Seattle likes to mix things up a little bit, though. We talked about Seawald a couple weeks ago. They got Diego Castillo as well. So, there's a lot of options out there for them. But you know what? If you're really, really desperate, hurting for a closer, you can go out there and get Ken Giles in your deeper leagues. Maybe he gets you a couple saves. And then even in holds leagues, maybe he winds up in a position to get a couple holds this year. He's only 8% owned on Yahoo. So you know what? Go out there and snag him. Matt, any thoughts on the kid, Ken Giles?
Just scoop him up. That's how I'm looking at it. Closers and save opportunities are definitely valuable at this point. Mm-hmm. So I got another guy for you that's actually been really killing it right now, and that's Tanner Scott. He did have a blown save, which sucks, which kind of blew up the ERA, but it was only like 1 inning. But he has had 4 saves in the last 2 weeks. So that's definitely valuable. Somebody for that's only 32% owned, so he's out there in most of the leagues. I say scoop him up and, raising the glory.
Yeah, I'll say this. He's a big strikeout guy, right? 27 innings, 42 strikeouts on the year, so you'll love to see that. As Matt said, he's been saving games for Miami recently, only 32% owned on Yahoo. Once again, that's Tanner Scott of the Miami Marlins. You go out there and you pick him up if you need saves, pretty much. That's what we're doing right now. Last guy, I guess he's wound up becoming one of the podcast favorites here because I talk about him, almost every other week on the closer segment. But that's Tanner Rainey of the Washington Nationals. He's still only 39% owned on Yahoo. He's got 8 saves on the year, 22 innings, 28 strikeouts, a 3.27 ERA, and a 1.23 WHIP. So I mean, I don't know why everyone's not adding him. I know he's been getting hit around a little bit recently, and the Nationals don't really win too many games. But hey, man, if you need saves, the guy's got 8 on the year. He's going to continue to get them. I bet you he finishes with around 25 saves this year. Once again, that's Tanner Rainey of the Washington Nationals. But guys, that's it for us on the Fantasy MDs today. We appreciate you guys listening, showing all the love. We're up over 100 subscribers on YouTube now. We just wanted to say thank you for everyone that's been a part of that. In our rookie year, we're trying to do the best we can to win that Rookie of the Year award, as far as Fantasy Baseball podcast goes. So once again, if you like what you hear, we please ask that you write us a little review on Apple and Spotify. You go check us out on YouTube, show us some love with some comments. And guys, if you ever have any specific questions, feel free to DM us, question us. We definitely want to do a mailbag show here at some point. So you know what, guys, please just throw us some questions as well. So until next time, guys.
Peace.